Hey, Baconair 650 here, back again with Crazy Cat Airsoft. Today I kind of ran into a little problem, or actually a few days ago. I'm going to an event over here just south of Litchfield, so about an hour's drive from home. It's going to be kind of a one-day mill sim event, and I just saw a few days ago that the mill sim is going to require us we're going to be out to the field there, non-stop gameplay. I think it's like 9 to like 5 or something. So need at least 1 day's worth of meals, and I thought it'd be a great time to kind of show you. I got caught off guard and didn't have an MRE, and a ton of Amazon, they said, hey, we can get you MRE here by Monday, which doesn't really do me good since I have a few days. This is recorded on Thursday and I have the event on Saturday, so I'm not going to do that. And I didn't want to go out to the Army Surplus store and pay like $15, $20 for an MRE where I can get for $7 online. So I went to Walmart and I did a little reading online. You can kind of put together your own little MREs to kind of get your food, make sure you're being fed out in the field. And today I'm going to try to really avoid to talk about too much on nutrition, but I just want to kind of go through my thought process. So let's go over here and see what I was able to go at our local Walmart and see kind of what I whipped up. All right, so this is what I got at our local Walmart. So first I want to tell you about, I'm going to have time to heat up and cook some breakfast. So I got some of these little packs here. I got a Mighty Muffin, a scrambler here, and some powerful oatmeal. So in terms of what I'm picking at, I'm looking at essentially 3 different nutrients I'm concerned about. That's going to be my proteins, as well as my fats, which you'll find a good amount of healthy fats in your tuna, and your carbs. Specifically, you want complex carbs. You need some sugar, but you don't want too much sugar. So the goal should be for today, I'm going to be active. I'm going to be very active, and my body's going to actually need a little bit surplus calories for recovery. So that way I don't get injured, and therefore I'm able to move the next day. So ideally, I'm looking at around a 4,000 calorie consumption for Saturday. And I already plugged in here this breakfast right here. This is about 1,000 calories and about 60 grams of protein. So 60 grams of protein and just a lot of good carbs. If you are on a diet and you have been on a calorie deficit, like myself right now, I'm at what's called a cycle, which means I go for most of my average day. I'm going to be consuming less calories than my body needs to shave off a little bit of body fat. Do not aim for a calorie deficit if you're going to be playing Airsoft. The reason being is you're going to be very physically active. Your body is going to take a lot of wear and tear. And in order to recover from that, you want to make sure you're being fed. And if you're like, oh, but my goal is to lose weight, trust me, eating all these calories, you're probably still going to lose weight if you eat 4,000 calories a day, because you're going to be more active. Additionally, and I've done the research myself, I use a heartbeat sensor to track most of my workouts. And if I eat a meal, a nice good carby meal, I'm eating my carbs, eating lots of rice, getting a bit of protein in there, and usually a little bit of fat with some milk, my workouts are significantly more intense. If I go to the gym, no meal, at a lower, actually just looking overall at my calorie consumption, if I don't hit a certain number of calories, my exercise workouts suffer. And as a result, I need to make sure that I'm eating enough to work enough. And usually at the end of the day, if I'm consuming more calories, I get a better workout, and I usually end up in actually a better deficit. So you want to eat your calories so you can burn those calories. So don't be afraid. Additionally, if you skimp out on meals, when you go play Airsoft, you could actually get too low of a calorie deficit and your metabolism will freak out. And then for the next week or so, your body's just going to put everything in the fat because it thinks there's some sort of famine or something. So eat your calories, eat healthy. So first off here, let's talk about this. You can get these pre-packaged meats. They're usually what's found in a can, but they put in these packages, just like an MRE. So you got some Spam. I love my Spam. It's part of being Filipino. Albacore white tuna, another great option. If these aren't to your take, there's also chicken. I went with the Tyson's chicken. It was a lot more expensive per the package, but when you broke down the price of how much you got, it was actually cheaper. So these are going to be kind of my meaty snacks. Now you can use jerky. I prefer the canned stuff. It's just got a little more fat in it, which is good. For my actual meal, I looked online. Someone said, hey, you can just use these. They're a little bulkier. So, you know, really these are the best packages. Kind of, I can easily fit this in my Haley Strategic flat pack. This is a little bigger. Obviously, I can still fit it in there. But this is going to be kind of my main meal. I literally picked the one with the highest protein. That's typically how, if they advertise what the protein is, generally pick the highest one because it means it's going to have the more calories. Something I kind of started running into these is that a lot of these actually have really low calorie contents. This is 240 calories. My average meal is probably 300 to 400 calories. So you're really going to have to stack up all these. Now, kind of for my carbs, I got these little Cliff bars. Yep. So, and they're about 200 to 300 calories each. Let's see, this one. They're pretty tasty. This is 230, so it's about the same as this entire meal. But you know what? That's good. I'd rather have, these are really calorie dense, which is good because you can scarf this down really quickly and you're going to have energy. This stuff is going to give you a lot of energy throughout the day. And it's going to be kind of not like this huge amount of it. Like, oh man, it's not going to be a sugar rush, but it's going to give you a nice good baseline. It's going to give you a nice good boost. And for drinks, you know, MREs usually come with a sport drink. I would suggest you go with a lower sugar, not sugar free. They tend to be not worth it. A low sugar Gatorade, like this G2. And I also got a one of these I'll buy or something. Coconut water is one of the few things that are actually better than water for hydrating. So, big fan of coconut water. Not everyone likes the taste. Again, I spent all my summers, or a good chunk of my summers in the Philippines as a child, so therefore coconut and Spam are on there. Now, when you add up all these ingredients, I'm still at about 1,600 calorie deficit of where my goal is. So I'm 1,600 calories short. I found these kind of cookies. The Lenny and Larry's. I got the apple pie. Not because I love apple pie, but I actually picked this because they had probably one of the highest protein and calorie content. So it's 200 calories. I'm like, all right. So I thought it was like, oh, it's like one of these. But then if you look at it, it's for half the cookie, which means this is 400 calories in this one cookie. Which kind of makes sense. It's roughly about twice the size of one of these. So I got one of these because they're nice, big, huge calorie pack. And I'm like, all right, awesome. This is going to put a dent in it. I'm still at a really short calorie deficit. I'm probably going to have to pack 2 of these or 3. Now, the advantage is I'm going home for the day, in which case I can try to make up the rest of those calories that I'm just running a little short on at home. I'll probably eat like an entire pizza or 2. Well, pizza would probably get me there if I get a really thick crust one. So make sure you're getting enough calories. That's kind of what I was able to whip out at Walmart. Just kind of picking and choosing. If you look at a normal MRE calorie, it's still going to run you a little short. So these would be great things to consider to add on top, especially these Cliff bars and these Lenny and Larry's cookies and a little bit of protein. If you have MREs, you can probably skip this, but definitely stack up on some of these for that little bit of boost and stuff, these 2. So I hope that helps out. Something I'm going to try out these cookies. There's only 2 things I'm just worried about. This one is the 12 12 grams here. The sugar, that's 24 when you add into it. 3 or 4 grams of carbs is good. So, but total cookie, which is 64 grams. Sugar is a little on the higher end, but you know, you're going to be active. A little sugar boost is not bad. The part I'm actually more worried about is the 10 grams of fiber. Fiber is not bad by all means, but when you're out in the field, that means you have to just relieve your. It could trigger you to relieve yourself a little bit more often than you would like. So just I'll kind of eat those, see if they work out for me. Obviously, it's always going to be different for person to person. So that is kind of my quick and dirty homemade MRE meal that I had to kind of put together, try to get those calories. And still, I'm going to have to figure something out because with all this, I'm still too short on my calorie goals to get them up high enough. In which case, better to have a calorie surplus in this to prevent injuries and make sure you keep going nice hard and have a good day of gameplay. So hope that helps you out there. Those people out here see what I kind of do. So Big and Air 650 here, signing off.